And I'm going to show you how to make a super easy Brussels sprout and potato gratin. It's holiday season. I am raised in a Brussels sprout family. There was never a green bean in sight, so I'm super excited about this dish. So let's get started. We have some Brussels sprouts, some fresh thyme, some russet potatoes, and shallots and garlic. I'm using the Schoon Cutlery 3.5-inch paring knife because it's on the smaller side, so you'll have more precision, and it's just a more nimble kind of knife, so you can really get in there and get the core out. Now that I've taken the core out, I'm gonna go in and shred these with our Schoon Premier 6-inch chef's knife. And then you shred them. Woo. Now I'm going to peel these potatoes and we'll slice them up. And I'm using an 8-inch knife because it's a little bit bigger, so you're gonna have more leverage when you're slicing the potato. Okay, and now I'm going to mince some fresh thyme. Let's get it off the sprig like that. And you just chop. I'm also gonna mince up a shallot for the bechamel. All right, now we are over the stove. I'm gonna make a quick bechamel and we'll get this gratin in the oven. So I'm just gonna melt some butter. Now we're gonna add our shallots and sweat them down. We're over like medium heat right now. You don't wanna like brown these guys or anything. And then we're going in with our sliced garlic and thyme. And you just wanna cook that until it's nice and fragrant. And now I'm gonna add all-purpose flour and just cook it until it's blonde, like me on a summer day. And now we're just gonna gradually add some whole milk, and I'm gonna be whisking as I add it. It's good to whisk it gradually as you're doing it, just so that everything kind of gets incorporated evenly and at the same time. It obviously looks like super thin right now, but it'll start to thicken up once that flour kind of starts to cook out. All right, our bechamel is slightly bubbling, so I'm just gonna season it up right now with some black pepper, and then I'm also going to add some cayenne and a pinch of nutmeg. And then here comes the cheese. So we have some grated white cheddar. I'm gonna add some Gruyere and some Parm. Smells cheesy. It's pretty good. Gonna add a little salt. Okay, it's time to assemble. So now I'm going to grease this cast iron with a little bit of butter and we'll start layering. All right, the first thing that goes down is a layer of shingled potatoes. Okay, and then we're just gonna top this all with half of our bechamel. So we've gone in with half the potatoes, half the Brussels, half the bechamel. Do you have any guesses for what we're gonna do with the second half, Laura?
We're gonna bathe in it.
And we're gonna top it off with some more cheese for good measure. I kind of like to leave a little ring of Brussels on the outside just so that there's like a green surprise. Okay, and now I'm just gonna cover this with some foil and we'll get it in the oven. At the very end of baking this, you'll turn your oven to a high broil and that'll give you a nice golden brown cover on your cheese.
Then let's make it. First off, I have basmati rice. Why do you soak it in water with salt? 2 reasons. First is that, oh my God, I totally, just like 2 reasons. The rice begins to absorb some of that salt water, so it helps it get seasoned and it cooks more evenly. Water is a better conductor of heat than starch is, so by letting it soak in some water, you're gonna have a much more evenly cooked rice. We have saffron. Can you see the threads? So these are part of the crocus flower, and they're bright red. They are very expensive. By weight, they are more expensive than gold. And we're gonna grind them up to make saffron water.
What if you don't have a mortar and pestle?
If you don't have a mortar and pestle, you can easily do this in any bowl. Use the back of your fingers, back of a spoon. And now I'm going to add a 1/4 cup of boiling water. And it becomes this super vibrantly golden water that we're gonna let bloom for just a second. So let's cook the rice. We're going to par cook it in boiling water, and then we're gonna pull them, drain them, and assemble. So I'm going to add all that saffron water to the butter. And we're gonna whisk this together with a tablespoon of salt. Now in a bowl, we're gonna add in 1/2 cup of Greek yogurt. To this, we're gonna add in 1 egg. And we're gonna add in 1/2 of the saffron butter mixture. And the rest is gonna get drizzled over the rice once we assemble it. You will see. We're gonna take the potato, and now this is a trick from my husband's aunt that I learned that has followed me in any application, is I'm going to mix some of the saffron butter with the potato. And this is gonna start to stain the potato that beautiful golden color. When I melted the stick of butter, I took the 2 tablespoons from the top, so it's more of that kind of like clarified ghee-esque part of it, and rubbed it on the bottom to grease. I'm gonna add 3 cups of the par-cooked rice right into the yogurt mixture. Just toss this up to get it nice and well coated. Let's assemble. First thing I'm gonna do is line it with the potatoes. Somewhere in between potato chips, French fries. It is so addictive. As soon as you try potato tahdig, I don't know if you'll be able to go back to the regular kind. You wanna leave some space in between, and that's where the rice is gonna kind of come in and fill up. Spread it out evenly, and then up the sides of the pot about 1 inch. I'm just going to dump the rest of the rice on top. And then we're just gonna pour over the leftover butter saffron mixture. Before we get it on the stove, I have one last trick, and this is a necessity when you're cooking rice, especially tahdig, is we are going to wrap the lid in a kitchen towel. The reason being is that as this is steaming, you can even see there's steam coming off it right now. That's liquid gonna come up to the top of here, and then it would roll down the sides and it would make the bottom soggy. We don't want a soggy bottom here. We want a nice crisp bottom. The other end of this is because you're doing that, you can't see. This is a total like bird box moment where you have to use all your other senses to know when your tahdig is done. So I'm gonna walk you through how to figure that out. You are going to put your ear straight to the pan. You gotta get that mic up in there. You gotta be able to hear the sizzle. Medium-high heat for about 5 minutes just to get it going, and then you're gonna drop it to low, and then let it go low and slow for about 15-20 minutes more. The tahdig is ready. As you can see, this has soaked up so much liquid that would have ruined our tahdig, so I'm really glad we wrapped it. And now, the moment of truth. This is the scariest thing you can ever do in the kitchen. Everyone say a little prayer for me. 3, 2, 1. Oh my God. I was sweating a little, but it's perfect. Look how gorgeous this tahdig is.